Good morning, friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristen. I am a Denver in Denver, Colorado. Hello, friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristen. I'm a knitter living in Denver, Colorado with my family, which includes my husband and then our two furry animals, Ebony and Sherlock. This is my little corner of the internet where I talk to you about how knitting and other fiber crafts have woven into my life, and I just share with you what I'm working on. Today is episode 53 of my podcast, and I just share with you my works in progress, finished objects. I've been spinning a little bit more and yeah, just catching up with all of you today. I hope you have something cozy to drink. I hope you have some projects to work on. I'm just gonna sit and chat through some of the things I've been working on. I'm in a really mellow mood this morning, so I'm just happy to kind of zone and, spend a little bit of time with you. I'm still drinking a cup of coffee in a ceramic mug that I love. And let's dive into it. Before we get started, everything is down in the show notes down below. I link to my Ravelry project pages. I link to pattern pages on Ravelry. I link to yarns. I link to any accessories I share. It's all linked down there down below. In addition to my socials, I am on Instagram, YouTube, and Ravelry, all as DoSo Knits. So that is all down there. And I'm ready to hang out with you guys. I have Ebony sitting right here. I took a photo before I started so you could see her. She has decided this is the best place to be, right in between all of my projects and everything. Sherlock was also sitting right there, but he has now gone to the big bed, also known as our bed that we sleep in every night. He's decided that he's going to go chill out in there. He might come back. And yeah, I don't have much admin up front right today, so we'll move right into finished objects. So the first finished objects I have to share with you guys are some of my handspun spinning projects. If you don't know, Tour de Fleece is happening right now, which is really just like a spin along during the Tour de France. So my goal in July has just been to spin a little bit every day. I haven't spun every day, but I've come pretty close. I've missed a few days since finishing these handspuns because I wasn't ready to start a new project quite yet. But I have done a good amount of spinning and I am pretty excited to show you what I have. So the first handspun that I have all my notes on these little paper cards, is this. So this was one of my Nest Fiber Clubs. This was the colorway called Knee High to a Grasshopper. It was the May 2023 color, and it was 100% Rambouillet. I got about 275 meters or 13 wraps per inch out of this. Before I washed it, I haven't checked my wraps per inch or yardage after finishing because I hate rewinding. So I just kind of go with my pre-wash and hope it's pretty close. But I really like this color. I think it's a lot prettier than, and a lot, I like it more than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be really pink and that it wasn't going to be something I liked, but I really like how this turned out. I spun this kind of in a fractal, it was a bit, I don't know, I just split it in half and then split the one end in 4 and the other end in 8, so it's kind of a fractal. But yeah, I am happy with how this turned out. I think it's pretty consistent. I was aiming for like a DK-ish, and I think overall it's not bad. There are some thick and thin parts, but I'm pretty excited with how this turned out. The Rambouillet was actually really nice to spin. It was my first time spinning Rambouillet, And like I said, I'm really happy with the color combination. It's not something I would have picked out for myself, but I think one of the really fun things with spinning is from fiber to final skein. I cannot envision that is how it was going to look. So really happy with that. So I did do a 2-ply with that, and I did have a little left over. So I chain plied the rest, and this is very over twisted, but this is my little chain ply left over. So I have no idea how much there is here. I was just trying to use up the rest, because with the chain ply you can use 1 ply and ply it on itself. Yeah, and then the second yarn that I've spun is this. I love this so much. So this is my Malabrigo New Bay. It was the color Guys, I wrote the same information on both of these cards. Oh, because one is the chain ply. I was like, I'm losing my mind. This was my Malabrigo New Bay. This is what I'm spinning for my Attune Shawl spin. I know, my card for this one is downstairs in the basement. So I don't have all the details with me. I had 8 ounces of this. I did a 2-ply again. I just spun 4 ounces onto one bobbin, 4 ounces onto another, plied it together. It's close to like a sport wraps per inch, but my yardage, I only have 500 yards or so. And I was talking to my coworker Kim, who was telling me I'm not drafting as thin as I could, so it's a bit thicker. It's probably going to be about a DK to worsted. So I'll be a little short for my Attune Shawl, but I'm hoping I have enough. The Attune Shawl is a shawl by Andrea Mowry, and she's doing a spin it to knit along right now, where you spin yarn and then knit the shawl. So I'm excited to do this. The pattern page calls for about 600 yards, and I have about 500. But I'm hoping, since it's a bit thicker, maybe my shawl will be a bit bigger, or if anything, I will, I'll either end it a bit short, or maybe like the last section, I'll do the main color as just one color, not a main color and contrast. I'll just do both as the main color. So we shall see. I am in love with how this turned out though. I am really proud of this. I love the colors so much. And if you don't remember, this is what I'm going to hold it with. So I think there's a really nice contrast here. And I'm really excited for this. So I don't remember the colorway. I'll have it popped on screen and it'll be linked down below as well. It was a Malabrigo New Bay. So it's 100% merino. And I really love this color. So that is the other thing that I have finished. These have both been washed. I have put them up outside, and you can see that this one isn't as a pretty a skein because I did 8 ounces together. So look at that. Oh, I love it. So those are my 2 finished spinning projects that I have finished. I've been, like I said, trying to do a lot more spinning, trying to do a little bit every day, and I've really been enjoying kind of that mindful practice of spinning. It's been really, really fun. So then the next thing I finished is, so I have a lot of projects on my needles right now. And I was feeling like I needed a quick gratification project, so I ended up making a couple Yarn Cozy Lights by Nitty Natty, the crochet versions. I've just been wanting to make more. I've made some of the knit ones and I wanted to try the crochet, and the crochet one I love so much. So I ended up making 2 of these, and they're in my works in progress. So I'm trying to grab the first one. So the first one that I made is this little yarn cozy. Isn't it so cute? So this is just a crochet pattern. I use my leftover fingering weights from Vista Dyeworks. This was the Summer Sock Camp 2021 colorway, and I think it turned out really well. I use a 2.5mm crochet hook, and these take like an afternoon. I love how quickly these come together, and it's so fun. I love the patterning of like the single crochet fabric. I was really skeptical of if the crochet fabric was going to work as well as the knit one, because the knit one has ribbing and it feels more, you know, crochet can have a lot more structure, so I was really hesitant that it wasn't going to hold my yarn, but it totally does. You can see here, this is all that I have left for my main color for my Nightshift, which I'll show you, but I mean, it's holding on to it pretty well, and I really, for the amount of time that this takes, I love these crochet ones. It's so fast, and I think they are so cute. So that was the first one that I made, and then I made a second one, and it is in my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. But I also used leftover from Desert Vista Dyeworks for this one. This one has a bigger skein in it, so you'll see it a bit better. But this is the Temple Bar color from Desert Vista Dyeworks. It's one of my favorite colors that I've done from Desert Vista Dyeworks. And that's the little yarn cozy holding my skein of yarn. So this skein of yarn, I've done one sock and I'm working on the second, which you'll see. But you can see it's still pretty full. And it does kind of round up a little bit, but when it gets too high, I just kind of do this. And I pull this back up. And then it's like good to go. And this is it. It's a little more stretched out, but it just kind of comes together. Like I said, I want to make a lot more of these. I've pulled some more yarn to make more, and I think I'm going to make some 50-gram ones. I'm going to make some 20-gram ones. I think the crochet pattern is my preference of the knit or crochet. I prefer the crochet. I like how quick it is for something that I'm going to use more often. It's a nice palette cleanser if I need that gratification of like, I need to start a project and I need to feel like I can finish a project really quickly and I can just start and finish and, you know, call it good. So I've really liked those. Like I said, I think I did one in one afternoon and then I started the next one the next day. Just for some quick knits, and I really like them for all my projects. So yeah, those are my crochet yarn cozies that I've made. And then I have one more finished object to show you. It's also in theme with Knitty Natty. I was participating in Sock Week last week, which is just a knit along hosted by Natalie, where the goal is to knit a sock in a week. And so I went into Sock Week with the goal of, my beginning goal was to knit my Desert Vista Dyeworks sock. I was going to do one tall sock. And then I looked in my stash and I found a sock set that was beach themed. And so I added this sock as well. So went into the week I wanted to do one tall sock and one short sock. And I came out of the week doing one tall sock and two of my short socks. So that's pretty exciting. So these are my finished socks. So this colorway is Seaside Mimosa. It was to the max, but now it is Frankie Gray fiber. It was a sock set. It was an 80-20, I believe, but it came with the mini. So I did the cast on in one round with the contrast color. I did 10 rounds total for the cuff, so 1 round in the contrast, 9 in the main color. I did 7 rounds for my leg. I then did a slip stitch heel flap with a square heel, which is the heel turn that is in the Coffee Talk socks by Tracy Miller, and I really like that heel turn. It just makes it, I'll show it off the blockers in a second. But then a foot to fit my foot. I did 3 rounds of contrast at the toe and then finished with the main color. I have so much of this left. I have 75 grams of the main color left and 12 grams of the contrast left. So I have so much left. But this is what the square heel looks like. So you can see it's a little, instead of like a triangle, it's more square. I think it's easier to do the math for this heel turn, and I really like how it turns out. It fits the back of my foot a lot nicer than the like standard triangle kind of heel turn. And yeah, I think this is the height that's going to work pretty nicely for me as well. And I love how summery these socks look. I love the variegation of these colors. I think they look so nice. And yeah, so I finished those as well. Yeah, I did them a US 0 9-inch circular, except for the heel turn. I did that actually on a US 1, and that was more so an accident. I pulled out a separate pair of needles to do the heel turn, and it was a US 1. But, yeah, I really, really, really like these. I think with some of the extras of this color, I'm going to make some baby socks for my future niece or nephew. And yeah, that's basically, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of the yarn after that. Maybe I'll make some more yarn cozies, but I also might make more socks because I have so much left over, and I really liked knitting with that base and that colorway. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, so those are all of my finished objects, and so we'll move into the projects that I've been working on over the last couple of weeks. Alright, so works in progress. I have a lot of projects on my needles right now. I took an inventory the other day, and I think I have 14 works in progress. So my goal for the rest of July is to try and finish projects. I'd like to get my work in progress number down a little bit. I'm feeling a little like I have too much on my needles right now. I'd like to be able to focus and get a few things off the needles. But yeah, focusing on a few projects at a time. So what I have been working on, the first one is my second pair of socks that I started for Sock Week for my Desert Vista Dyeworks knit along. So this is Desert Vista Dyeworks Viso in the color Graffiti Elephant. I knit these on 9-inch circulars. I did a German short row heel for these. I did 3 stripes for the cuff, 2x2 ribbing, and then I did 4 repeats for the leg. It ended up being about 48 rounds. And then, you know, foot to fit my foot, and then my standard toe that I do. So that was sock 1 that I finished in Sock Week. And I finished the first socks pretty quickly in Sock Week, which is why I then added that third sock on. I think I finished the first 2 socks, started on Sunday, and I finished them, I think, by Wednesday. And then Sock Week went to the next Sunday. So I then started my second sock, and I am now this far. So I finished the heel turn last night and then did a little bit of knitting this morning, and now I'm on the foot, and this will be great for my meetings. And yeah, this colorway is Graffiti Elephant. I really like this colorway. I like the, you know, alternating between the plain gray and the speckly graffiti. This sock, this color I really like, so I've already thought I'll probably do like a 50-gram sock set with the yarn cozies with the leftovers. So I want to do 2 50-gram little yarn cozies with the leftovers because I love that color so much. Yeah, and this is just living in one of my Stolen Minutes bags. It's perfect for these socks. And so that has been those socks. And then I started another pair of socks for an advent in July. I believe I showed these last time, but it was just at the beginning. And so this is my leftovers from my 2021 advent skein from the Cozy Knitter. It's an 80% superwash and 20% nylon. They were 120 grams to begin, but these are just a self-striping yarn that the Cozy Knitter does for Advent. So it's 24 different stripes, but there's 2 repeats of that. So there's actually 48 stripes in there. So I wanted to do like an Advent in July. And my goal was to do a stripe a day. I am behind because I really focused on my other socks, but until sock week, I was doing pretty good. And so this is the first sock. I'm doing toe up, and I've done 9 stripes, and today's the 19th, so I'm a little bit behind, but I'm doing them magic loop on US 1s, 2.25, and since I have 2 cakes, I was doing them concurrently. So yeah, now that sock week is done, I think once I finish my Does It Vista Dyeworks socks, these will become into rotation pretty quickly. I'm doing 60 stitches for these. I'm doing them for my mom, and I had asked my patrons if I should do a afterthought heel or just do a German short row heel. So I'm still debating. I'm not at the heel yet. I haven't done an afterthought heel in a long time, but it does take a little afterthought, you know. Good job, Kristen. It does take a little afterthought of picking it up versus doing a short row heel. I could just do it now and call it good. So I'm still undecided what heel I'm going to do with these. My go-to is normally a German short row heel, but an afterthought would mean I don't have to think about it now and could just keep knitting these stripes until it's done. So we'll see. We'll see how I go. Really liking these. I like, you know, I really like just seeing them together like this. It is pretty quick to do a stripe every day. Yeah, I think less than 20 minutes or so I could do a stripe. And yeah, so this is in my Mountain State Stitches mountain bag. Another one of my favorites. And you know, I'll work on them. Like I said, I think I'm going to focus on my Does It Vista Dyeworks socks, get that one done, and then I might go back and finish those. I think I'll definitely be able to finish them before the end of the month. We have like 10 days or so left at least. 11. Does July have 31 or 30 days? July has 31 days, so we have 12 days left in the month, so I'll definitely, I think I'll be able to finish those. I'm on stripe 9, and 12 days left would get me to stripe 21. So I could do about a stripe a day now, and a couple of those days I would have to do a couple of stripes to finish before the end of the month to get to 24. So yeah, those are those Advent socks. Yeah, and then the other thing I've worked on, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because you've seen it in the last couple podcasts, and I thought I would be done, but I am not. But this is my Nightshift by Andrea Mowry, and I'm so close to finishing this, but I'll show you where I'm at. All right, so this is where I am at in my Nightshift. I'm on the last repeat, the last half of the last repeat. So it's really hard to show the whole thing. Can you see that? So yes, this is my Nightshift. I'm on the last repeat, the last half of the last repeat. I have run out of one of my colors. So my main color is that natural merino. And then I was holding 2 of my handspuns together, alternating. There's small bumps and big bumps. I was alternating after every big bumps section to my other handspun color. This section right here, I ran out of my first handspun, which is my Nest Fiber Club Rustic Cabin, which was a BFL. And then my other one is my Zia Wools Corriedale, which I got from Albuquerque. I have not a lot left of this second handspun. So I am on row 3 of 5 for this last repeat. So I have 2 more rows to go, and I'm trying to find, this is how much I have left. Okay, that's a little bit more. It's kind of, it's unrolled a little bit here. Hold on. Okay, this is how much I have left for 2 repeats. And so it'd be 2 rows back and forth, and this is the length of each of those rows. I don't think I'm gonna have enough. So, and I definitely don't have enough of my main color. This is how much I have after 2 skeins, but I do have this much left over from my Easy V. So, these are my thoughts on this. I've taken this shawl and, you know, I do the whole, this is the back, but I've tried to put it on to see how long it is. And this is where my ends are for my shawl. And it's pretty snug against my neck. So what I'm thinking is I think I'm gonna add, I mean, I could make it longer if I really tug it, but that is really tight against my neck, and these are still really short, and I worry it's just gonna come undone, and it feels really very tight up here. And at a knit night that I go to, people mention that this shawl is a bit short. So what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna add an extra repeat. See how far that gets me. If that gets me like enough extra length, maybe a repeat and a half, maybe 2. So I've pulled out extras of my main color. And then I went stash diving for my leftovers of my dream state. And these are the like leftovers that I have. They're not exactly the same color family. This one is really orange, so I do think it could pair pretty nicely. And this one leans really blue. So my plan is to just kind of add it in, see how they go with the overall theme. And I'm just gonna add it. You know, I'll see how it looks. If it looks crazy, I'll rip it out. I'll try something else. I just don't really have any of my other handspun that would really coordinate with this. My newest handspun is much brighter than these colors because these are very, you know, orange, purpley, blue. So that's why I think with these being orange, purpley, blue, I think might coordinate nicely. And so those are my leftover dream state. It's the Rusted Rainbow and Family Jewels colors. So that's kind of my plan. I'm gonna maybe top off the end of the shawl with those. I'm gonna rip my stitches off of my needle. But yeah, I've really enjoyed working on this. It's really easy to memorize. It's really fun to see the colors change. And yeah, I just don't want to bind off, you know, be like, oh, well, this is the end of my handspun. I want to bind off, because at the length that it is now, I can't really wrap it around my neck. I want something that's going to be wearable. And I have these leftovers, so I figure I might as well try, see how it goes. You know, it's either going to work or it's not. I mean, I like to just get this off the needles though, because I'm not starting my attune shawl until I finish this. So that is my like motivation for that. I don't think it would take long to add an extra repeat. I did not work on this really during sock week, and when I do work on it, it grows pretty quickly. There's not a ton of stitches on the needles because it is that worsted weight. It grows pretty quickly. So that is my Nightshift by Andrea Mallory. I'm gonna add that extra repeat, I think, and we'll see how big it gets. All right, and then I have one more work in progress. So this is the Iris hat by Sari Nordland. I really had an inkling to start a hat, so I went looking and I found this hat and I loved how it looked, and so I then just went in my stash and I found the leftovers from I had done an everyday slouchy beanie and it was too slouchy for me, so I had ripped it out, and this is what it looks like. My crinkly. I do also have the leftover skeins, but I literally ripped out the singles and the Kumo together and left it in a ball. which I know you're really not supposed to do, but I'd already knit them together and I wasn't gonna rip them apart. So this is the Neighborhood Fiber Company Rustic Fingering, and it's the color Pen North, and then it's the La Bien-Aimée Kumo in the color La Bien-Aimée Yellow, I think. The Kumo is a Surrey alpaca lace weight, and then the rustic fingering is 100% merino, I believe. I don't have the tags anymore. But this hat is knit top down, and I loved how it looked. It looked so squishy, and so I cast on with abandon, did the increases, and then I've set it aside. So this is where it's at. I just have this vision of just like being somewhere busy and being out in public and having a bright yellow hat on, and these increases. Isn't that stunning? It looks like a beautiful like starfish. It was really easy to do the increases. My camera did not like how bright that yellow is. It is bright. It is a bright yellow. This is not an exaggeration. What you're seeing on the screen is pretty accurate. It's a bright yellow hat. But this hat is knit from the top down, so I was doing magic loop until my final stitch count was good, and then I got really tired of magic loop and I bought a 16-inch circular. So it's a US 3, and the rest of the hat is just 1x1 rib. I have a lot of 1x1 rib to do. The hat has a triple brim, which I didn't really read a lot of the description before buying the pattern. I was like, oh great, fingering and lace held together, loved that. I know what I'm going to use, bought it, then read the pattern and was like, oh, this is a lot of 1x1 rib. So I went looking at some people's project pages, and some people have done a double brim, so they knit to like 11 inches, and for the triple brim it's like 14 inches of 1x1 rib. So I mean, I don't have a decision to make right now. I'm gonna knit to like the length a lot of people do for the double brim. I'm gonna try it on. I'm gonna see what I think. I mean, I think a triple brim could just be luxuriously comfortable in the winter though. So like I said, I cast this on, did the increases, and I've kind of set it aside. You know, the fuzzy and the hot, sweaty hands for the summer don't necessarily go together all the time. So this is like an indoor in the AC in my basement where it's kind of cold kind of project. The nice thing is it's very mindless now. Now, I cannot knit 1x1 rib in like the movies yet. I can't do ribbing without looking. I have to be in a place where I can look at it on a regular basis. But this one I have no rush. It may become a car knitting project because most of the time when we're out and about, I can look at what I'm doing if I need a car knitting project. And yeah, right now both cars I have socks in, which if you don't know, I just have emergency car knitting, or just projects that are in the cars for if we're out and about and I need something to work on that don't necessarily take a ton of effort. So this might go there. I really love the Kumo and fingering together. I love the combination, but that first hat just wasn't the hat for me. So I'm excited I've started this one. I think the ribbing is going to look really, really nice and it's going to be fun. So not much else to report on that. The increases were fun. I love how they look. And now I just have a ton of 1x1 to do. And yeah, that's all of the knitting content that I have to share. I do have some acquisitions to show you, so let me grab those. So I don't have any skeins of yarn to show for acquisitions, but I do have some fiber. With Tour de Fleece and me spinning more, I was like, I deserve to get some more fiber. And I've bought some fiber from One Thursday Before. They have an Etsy shop and they were having like a 20% off sale. So I went and bought some fiber. I bought 8 ounces of each of these because I'm finding 8 ounces gets you closer to like 2 skeins of yarn. So it just opens up more doors. I can use it. I have a little more extra if I want to do it for contrast or something else. So 8 ounces just feels like a good amount for me. And what I've done is I normally fill out these cards when I start spinning, but I'm trying to fill them out as I acquire the fiber now, because like One Thursday doesn't come with labels or anything. So I'm trying to, I log it in my Ravelry. There's a place where you can log fiber. I also log on my normal stash, but there's a place where you can log fiber and I can record brand, colorway, how it was prepared, etc. But I'm also trying to write it on here. So my first color is C Note. Da, da, da. Isn't this gorgeous? So this is a really pretty blue. It's 88% Corriedale and then 12% of a nylon sparkle. I got 8 ounces. I think this will make, I don't know, it'd be really pretty in color work. It'd be really pretty as a hat. So that's that one. I then got this color called Holly Festival. It is 100% wool tweed. So it's just like a really beautiful natural kind of color and then tweedy colors in there. So this one I think will be a lot of fun. And they come rolled in this, but then they unroll to this braid. They are coming undone as I am talking. And then the last color I got is called Irish Blanket. This is 100% merino. I'm really excited for this one. It's so pretty. So this one I might wait to spin in the fall. I just think this together looks so good. So I bought all of this fiber and I need to spin some more. I've really been enjoying my spinning. I've been listening to audiobooks while I spin. Just been a lot of fun. And yeah, that is everything I have to share with you guys today. Like I said, I have 14 works in progress, and obviously I did not show all of them today. Not everything has been worked on in the last couple of weeks, but these are what I have worked on. I'm focusing on my socks. I'm trying to get as many done this month, as many done before the end of summer sock camp so that, you know, it can be done. I want to be a garment girly. I wish I knit more garments more often, but you know, sometimes socks and accessories just call me. So I am gonna make some accessories right now, enjoy my sock world. I want to make some baby knits. I found this Kim and Jonna, I think it was Jonna, was knitting some baby socks, and I want to make some little baby socks. I think they're going to be so cute. I want to make like a baby vertebrae. I want to make the really cute like little baby hat. So maybe I'll intersperse some baby knits in between some of these bigger projects because I think they're going to be so cute and they're going to go so fast. And does gauge really matter? No, because the baby's going to grow. It's going to be small and then it'll get bigger and they'll fit. And I'm rambling. As always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you would like to know when all my future videos come out. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope you got some making done. I hope you've put a little bit of love into every stitch of your making while we hung out today. I'll see you guys again in a couple weeks for my next podcast video. Next one should be the beginning of the month. So if you're participating in the year of Stash KAL, don't forget all the details for that are in the description box below. Make sure to enter in any finished objects you have using stash from before 2023. And I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. And I'll see you again soon.